Hello everyone, VJ's back again with another How to Play. Today I'm going to be tackling Cribbage. Now, Cribbage is an old game. It's also very popular, quite popular, and it's also a bit difficult. In fact, looking at this book, Card Night by Will Royal, which is an excellent book by the way, it actually is listed under as difficult for difficulty. So I'm going to try my best to explain it. Bear with me. So what you need to play cribbage is a deck of 52 cards. It's a standard deck of cards. And a cribbage board. Now this one's a bit worn out, but it is what it is. A couple of things I will point out. This board you can buy at Walmart or Target, or from the Bicycle Cards website. Various places sell them. They're not too expensive. They do come with these pegs. They're plastic. The Erics are a bit cheap, and they can break easily. And if they break, then you have to drill out the hole, and then you might have to sharpen this so that it actually fits properly, because if it breaks, it's not going to fit. So what I prefer is using these metal ones. I got these from Amazon for a couple bucks. They're not going to break or anything like that, and they're very good, durable. But anyways, you can play cribbage anywhere from 2 to 4 people. There's also a solitaire version, which I might cover at some point in time. And so let's get down to it. It's a little bit, like I said, it's not the easiest game, so we'll see what we can do. There's 2 rounds. There is a paying round and a counting round. In this game, you start off by determining who's going to start, usually by cutting the card and seeing who has the lowest card, or the highest card, whichever you prefer. And then that person will start. Each person will get 6 cards. And then from those 6 cards, you have to select 2 cards to be put into the crib. The crib will always be in possession of the dealer. It's an extra scoring hand. But the dealer won't know what the other person puts in the crib. And they're not going to know what the dealer puts in the crib, of course. So then you start going back and forth after you do that. After you do that, we'll go over. You cut the cards, flip over a card for additional scoring. And then you go back and forth playing cards, paying points as you play them. And then after all the cards have been played, then you score your hands. For paying points, for scoring points, there is a number of combinations that can score your points. Any 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 cards that add up to 15, like that, is 2 points. Any 15 is 2 points. It doesn't matter if it's a jack and a 5. Core cards are the jack, queen, king are worth 10, of course. Aces are worth 1. It doesn't matter if it's, a jack and a 5, a 7 and an 8, a 6 and a 9, 2 2s, a 1 and a 10. Whatever you can do to get 15, however many cards, that's 2 points. Any cards that are a pair is also worth 2 points. If you happen to have 3 of a kind, like so, that is worth 6 points. And if you have all 4 of a kind, that will be worth 12 points. You can also get points for a run. So for instance, it has to be a run of 3 or more. So for instance, 4, 5, 6 is 3 points, or 7, 8, 9, or jack, queen, king. You can also have 4, 5, 6, 7. You might even have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 points. So you get points for every card in the run of runs of 3 or more. I like to joke around when I'm playing and say, hey, look, I got a double run of 2, but that's actually not worth nothing. You can also score those points while you're playing the playing round, and we'll go over that. So for instance, if I play a 10 and this other person plays a 5, they get 15 for 2. Then, if I play a 5 after that, I get 2 for the pair of 5s. They can then get 6 for playing 3 5s, and so forth. You can also get runs that way. Maybe I play a 7, they play a 9, then I play an 8. That's a run of 3. It doesn't have to be in order, as long as all the cards are played, at the same back to back. It doesn't have to be 7 8 9. It could be 7 9 8. It could be 3 5 3 4. For instance. So we'll do that. There's also, you can score 2 points. There's points as well to be had for jacks and a couple other things we'll get into. So I start off. For 2 people, it's 6 cards each. I'll explain what you do for more people. And the rest of the cards get put here. We'll say I have the crib because I dealt. So I'm going to look at my hand and I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. It's not a very good hand, unfortunately. What would I do with this hand? I guess I'm going to put a pair of 10s on my crib because that's 2 points. And I'm giving myself 2 points. I still got 2 points. It's not a very good hand, unfortunately. So you put them face down. Now my opponent is going to do the same thing. They're going to look at their hand. They do got some decent cards. They got 9 and 6s too. There's 15 for 2 points. I'm gonna put this in the crib. So now, because I dealt, my opponent will cut the cards, and I will flip this card face up. This is the starter card, and this will help you score more points when you do the counting round. But if this card, when you flip it, is a jack, any jack, that would give me 2 points. So, if this jack was cut, and there's the card on top, I would score 2 points. But of course it's not the jack, so we won't do that. So, since I dealt, my opponent will start. They will play a card. You want to kind of have some strategy about it. Be strategic. You don't want to play, a 10 or a 5 because that could be very easy for your opponent to score 15. He'll play the 6. He doesn't have too much that's really good. I'll play this 16. That way he can't make 15. And then let's say he plays this, makes it 25. And when you play a card, you say 25 or 16 or whatever. You say out loud what it is, what the points are at. So we're at 25. I'm going to play this one and make 28. When we're doing this pegging round, you only go up to 31. So my opponent's going to look at his cards. He's got a 2. We're at 28. He makes it 30. I need to play an ace, or I have to say go. Since I don't have an ace to make 31, I have to say go. And he can't play, but he pegs a point for the go. So whenever somebody says go, the other person gets a point. And then he gets to start. Plays an 8. I'm going to make 2 for 15, so peg 2. And then he said go, and because he has no cards, and I get the last point for the last card. So whoever plays the last card of a round gets a point for being the last one. If you get 31, you get 2. If he had not been able to play this 2, and he had said go, this is 28, I would have played my 3. I would have gotten 31 for 2 and a pair for 2 more, but that obviously did not happen. So when the round is done, we did some pegging, not much, but some. And we score points. Always start with the non-dealer. They go first. That way, if you get to the end of the game and it's very close, the right person obviously wins. If you don't want the dealer to go out and then the other person could have won. It's always the non-dealer counts first. So he's going to count the points. He's got 15-2. A pair is 4. And as I like to say, there ain't no more. 2-4, there ain't no more. So that's the what he got, and he's going to count his 4 points. And of course, the object of the game is to get to 121 first. Whoever gets there first wins. Now I'm going to count my points. I also have a 15-2 and a pair for 4. Unfortunately, there ain't no more. And now I get to check the crib. Let's see how we did. Well, there's that double run of 2 I was talking about. I'll explain that in a minute, but I get 2 for a pair. If this had been a jack of clubs, I would have gotten an extra point, so I'll explain that as well, but 2 points. Don't worry, we're not going to go through the whole game. It could take a while. But, like I said before, when you cut the cards, if the card you cut is a jack, you get 2 points. The dealer gets 2 points. If you have a jack in your hand or in the crib that matches the suit of this card, if this was a jack of clubs, you would get 1 point. I should also mention one more scoring method I forgot to mention. And that is, if you have all 4 cards that are the same suit, that is 4 points. If this card happens to be the same suit as well, that is obviously 5 points. Now, if it is the crib, you must have all 5 cards the same suit to get the points. If this is the crib and this is the card that's here, you don't get any points for having all the same color. So in the regular hand, this is fine, 4 points. Crib has to match the same suit as this, and you get 5 points. So now, the deal would go over to my opponent over here, and they would deal out the cards the same way, and keep going around. Now, a couple of things I want to mention as well. First of all, if you're new to crib, you're not too sure about it, you don't know if you want to spend the money on a crib board, use a piece of paper. Write down the score on a piece of paper. Whoever gets to 121 first wins the game. And if you like it, then you can buy a crib board. And you can also get little crib boards like this, travel ones, or I don't really like these. I recommend something like this, something decent. Not only for the quality, but because it's nice solid wood of some sort. But it's much easier when you have all the proper lanes and whatnot. This over here on the end is for keeping score. So if, let's say, I win this game, I get here first, I mark a point, and you keep score. You can do that over days, days or weeks of playing the game. Doesn't have to be all in one day. A couple other things I want to point out. On the board, there is a big S here. This is the skunk line. If I were to win the game, for instance, and my opponent was behind this line, instead of counting 1, I would count 2, because it got skunked. That's a double game. There's actually a triple skunk as well, which is, I forget where, I think it's around here. And that would give me 3 games, but that's a rarity. But it's also fun. You tell your opponent, hey, you got skunked, I skunked you. And you just have fun with it. But yeah, that is cribbage. Hopefully I covered everything all right. I will actually mention how to play 3 or 4 people. So if you're playing 3 people, 4 people, basically it's the same process, just the amount of cards you're dealt is different. We'll say I'm the dealer. For 3 people, each person will get 5 cards. And I will give myself an extra card for the crib. And then everyone will select a card from their hand. Ooh, that's a pretty good hand. To put in the crib. I'm just selecting cards here. And then there's my 4 cards for the crib, which is at the moment not that great. Let's see what my cut is. It's not that good for the crib. If you're playing 4 people, same process. Everyone gets 5 cards. So 4 people, everyone's going to get 5 cards. And then everyone puts 1 card into the crib. Not like that. Obviously, you're gonna select the cards, but you know what I mean. And then everyone's gonna have 4 cards. So those are just alternate ways of playing with 3 or 4 people. Personally, my preference is 2 people because it's much better to have 6 cards in your hand and pick 2 than to have 5 and have to choose 1. You don't have the best odds in your hand, if you will. The cards aren't always the best. I find when you play 3 people, it sucks. The cards aren't you don't get the best hands. 2 people, it's much better. The hands and fun. Obviously, 4 people would be the same as 3 in terms of the cards you get. So that is that. That is Cribbage. Comment, like, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Comments or questions, let me know, and we'll see you next time more. Thanks for watching.